I was walking past the door to the cockpit quietly, because I heard Captain Sunlight on a video call with a client. But then I heard, "Was that a human? Call them back, I have a question." This ought to be good, I thought, as I spun on my heel. Captain Sunlight was just calling my name as I reached the doorway.
"Ah, yes, thank you. Would you mind answering a human-related question?"
She stood in the middle of the room, yellow scales bright in the good lighting. She managed to look up to my height without making it seem awkward. "Sure," I said. "What's the question?" I stayed in the doorway. The room was a little crowded, with Wio in one pilot's chair, tentacles manipulating many controls at once, and Kavle doing something to fix her own chair with a hand tool. Judging by the way her head frills were flowing with frustration, she wasn't done yet. The client on the big screen curled his own tentacles.
"I'm concerned about my ship's human," he said,
turning his pointy squid head to make sure he wasn't overheard. He lowered his voice and spoke closely to the screen.
"We only have the one, you see, and I don't want to ask any awkward questions directly."
"I understand," I said with a nod. Captain Sunlight ushered me into the room, then stepped out to talk to Z about something. I heard the distinctive click of his bug feet. The client was still talking, with agitated twists of his pebbly grey tentacles.
"We don't have a medic on board, just an automated medical suite. The human will be going home soon. Limited time work contract, you know. But I'm honestly worried about infection spreading there, since I think this human caught it by meeting up with another. I gather that this other is on good terms with ours, and may be going to the same place either way, but I don't want to contribute any contagion for my ship."
"What kind of symptoms are we talking about?" I asked, mentally going over the short list of diseases that I knew of, which could jump between species. This might be worth consulting our own medic. No one else on board is affected?
"No, just the human," he said,
making vague loops with his tentacles.
"There's a malignant-looking growth, along with fatigue and gastrointestinal distress. The human has been acting a little unpredictable." He looked behind himself again. "I very much don't want to cause an incident by prying, especially if this is something she knows to be terminal."
I opened my mouth, then closed it, choosing my questions with care. "Is the growth about here?" I pantomimed a roundness at my own stomach. "How long since she met with the other human?"
"Yes, exactly there. It's been approximately half a standard orbit. What is it? Do you know?"
He was so sincere and worried that I had to smile. Good news! In my opinion, as a professional human, that's not a disease at all. Your human is going to be a parent. Instead of relaxing, he looked confused.
"Humans gestate eggs for that long? Shouldn't she have laid them by now? She looks awfully uncomfortable. Oh no, are they stuck?"
Now he was getting alarmed.
"I had a relative who got egg-bound once, and it was dire."
I raised my hands in a calming gesture that I hoped he understood. "No, no eggs. Humans give live birth."
"Live what?"
We lay the babies already hatched." I looked to my various crewmates for support and found 4 different sets of eyes, watching in curiosity. "All of you lay eggs, don't you?" Several nods answered me, along with,
"Well, not personally," from Z, "but yes."
I sighed and turned back to the screen. It's extremely normal on my planet. Just think of it as carrying the nest around internally. There are pros and cons to the whole thing, but yeah. At any rate, it sounds like she's planning to join up with her mate at home and raise their offspring together. The client looked fascinated.
"Is there anything I should do, or not do? I can make sure my crew is informed."
"I understand it's an uncomfortable process. Just be gentle and encourage rest," I said. "Oh, and have other crew members handle anything that involves bending over or moving heavy objects." By the swift tentacle motions off screen, he was typing notes. Another thought occurred to me. "I don't know how long until you reach her home, but if things take too long, you'd better hope your medical suite is up to overseeing a childbirth. They're very painful, sometimes dangerous, and messy." He stopped typing, eyes wide.
"I need to check with someone about changing our schedule. Thank you.
Goodbye."
The screen went blank. I looked at the captain. "Were you done talking with him, I hope?"
She nodded.
"Yes, business is concluded. Which is good, since I don't fancy having to track him down because he forgot to pay us."
"Yeah, me neither," I said with a glance back at the screen. "I didn't even get to tell him how loud human newborns are or how often they cry. I doubt there's a crib on board." Z made a disparaging hiss and wandered off in a cloud of opinions about species without the good sense to hatch at a properly capable stage of development. Weo snorted.
"Judging by the speed they just took off at, I don't think they're going to need one."
She pointed a blue-ringed tentacle at a display that showed the other ship departing in an all-fired hurry. I shook my head. Best of luck to all involved.